What if mortgage rates dropped all the way to 6%? According to NAR's latest data, that shift would make median-priced homes affordable, you ready, for 5.5 million more households, including 1.6 million renters. The NAR expects roughly 10% of those additional households, a little over 500,000, to convert to buyers over the next 12 to 18 months. This kind of shift can drive home sales up as much as 14%. Now, in our market area, we have seen double-digit growth, not so much recently, but during the pandemic years, I know that we talked about it. But we haven't seen that type of growth on the national level. So today, let's break down what this really means for buyers, for sellers, and for the market as a whole. I'm Jen Blanchard, your Central Jersey real estate expert. I make these videos to help you buy smarter, sell with confidence, and stay ahead of the market, because I see my job as helping to make the market work for you. So let's talk high level here. What does this mean for buyers? At 6% interest rates, suddenly more people qualify. Buyers who are locked out can now get into the market. Behavior changes pretty fast when the math finally works. But it's not just about numbers. Many buyers have been frozen by fear of overpaying, fear of stretching themselves too thin. Lower rates can calm that fear and give people permission to act with a little more confidence. And that's really the bottom line. Lower interest rates increases affordability. Better affordability increases confidence. You add affordability and confidence together and you get more buyers stepping into the market. For sellers, inventory is already creeping up. Now remember, it's market specific. But if we're speaking on the national level, according to Realtor.com, inventory is up about 20% higher than last year. Homes are sitting longer and sellers are cutting prices to get attention. But here's the shift. If rates drop, buyers come back, so do sellers. The homeowners who've been saying, I don't want to give up my 3% mortgage because mortgage rates are now too high. Remember, we've talked about that before. Sellers who are locked into their current mortgage rate, they're locked in, they're not selling their homes. They're starting to see moving as being a little less painful as interest rates come down. So it's not just more buyers in the market, but it's more listings too. And as a seller, you need to be careful about that because that's competition. We've talked about buyers. We've talked about sellers. Now let's talk about the market. NAR, the National Association for Realtors, predicts that home sales could jump 13 to 14% nationally if rates hit 6%. That kind of spike is rare across the United States market, although we do see it in pockets. Nationally, for the first time in nearly a decade, there's enough inventory to handle that increased demand without prices flying out of control. We're moving towards a more balanced market. More balanced, more movement, less stagnation. Here in New Jersey, the swings likely won't be as dramatic. Our market doesn't typically mirror national shifts one-to-one. Here, when a property is priced right, it sells, period. But when a home is overpriced, or if it has something that makes it a little less appealing, that's when we start to look more like the national picture. Longer marketing times, more price reductions, and buyers hesitating. Not necessarily hesitating to make offers, but hesitating to put significant over-asking offers on the table. So we're seeing numbers. We're seeing sale prices moderate a little bit. But even so, a small uptick in demand locally can still make a noticeable difference in competition and timing. So the big picture, NAR expects that we can reach 6%, that sweet spot, by 2026. That's like right around the corner. Even before then, the shifts that we're seeing, they're worth paying attention to and preparing for. whether you're thinking about making a move before the end of the year or well into next year. You want to start paying attention before you're ready to make that move. And we're here to help. So here's the takeaway. 6% isn't just a number. It's a tipping point. It will change the math for millions of households. It pulls buyers off the sidelines. It frees up sellers who've been holding back. And it'll set the stage for a much more active market. If you're thinking about buying, if you're thinking about selling, or if you're just keeping an eye on where things are headed in central New Jersey, the key is planning now so you're ready when that moment hits. If this breakdown was helpful for you, please hit like. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel. Drop your questions in the comments. I will reach out. I will make sure you have all the information that you need. Check out my playlists. I've got some really good information, not just property videos, but information, tips, and tricks for navigating today's real estate market.